Hello everyone, this is Yolanda from the All Crafts channel, and in today's tutorial we are going to turn a plain little towel like this that I bought at Bed Bath & Beyond. It was just a little, those packages you get with several of them like this. There was 6 of them for $8, and sometimes even at Costco they have them for a lot more of them, and they also had the ones that were all white. All of them were white, so today's the tutorial. We're just going to learn how to kind of make it a little cuter, like kind of pretty it up. Give you a nice little edge here. It kind of looks like a little flowers or, you know, edging. I hope you'll enjoy this tutorial, and let's get the party started. Hello everyone, this is Yolanda from the All Crafts channel, and today I wanted to do a little tutorial. Sometimes in the springtime a lot of people are getting married, or in the summer. So anyway, I found these little kitchen towels. They're 100% cotton. I got these at Bed Bath & Beyond, and they were $8 for 6 of them. But the reason I liked them is because it's not as tight as some other ones, see? So it's kind of more like a terry cloth almost. And they came in different colors, so you could choose the color you want to do. So, I mean, they also had some of these in all white, which is really good too, because then you could just use just the color you want to do. So for this, I'm going to be using, let me take this apart here. I'm going to try to work on the white towel. I should have done this before, but you're going to like the fact that it's easy to work through this. You don't need a special hook. I am using a smaller size hook. I'm going to be using, it's a size E. You can use a bigger one. The hook will actually go through this towel. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be making, just decorating this basic kitchen towel with a little trim. And then if you have an embroidery machine, this actually works where you could fold it in half. My sister has an embroidery machine, and she does this all the time, and it's just really pretty. You could personalize by the initials of the couple, or, you know, if you could put a picture or whatever you want. But this makes a great little just like a shower gift, and it's not too expensive. So I know that cost can be a factor right now. This is for Valentine's Day. I'm going to make a couple of these. I'm just using a cotton cotton yarn that it's variated, so I kind of like the mix up. I'm not sure how that's going to work, to be quite honest with you. And so then to begin my first row, I'm going to use a light green, also cotton. Okay everyone, to begin, I'm filming it again because I accidentally erased it. Okay, I'm going to get my towel, and you can see how the hem is on this side. For this first row, it doesn't really matter too much on how, if you could, you know, which side you start on, and the second one it will. So here I'm going to start on the right side. I'm going to be using my smaller hook, which is an E, and because this is such a loose weave, I don't know if you could see the weave, my regular hook here can go through there. This has a little pattern of little ribs, like little ridges, so I'm going to use those to count, like to measure, kind of to even out. If you don't have that, you could actually put a little pencil mark, or just to make sure it's more even. So here I'm going to go in here in my first space. I'm going to pull out my yarn, and since it's this loose kind of weave, I don't need to have like pre-drill the hole, pre-punch the holes, or to do one with a special hook. If you have a very tightly woven fabric, then you will need to do that. So here is my loose tail. I'm going to pull out, excuse me, I pulled up my yarn there. So now I'm going to grab here, okay? And then once I grab there, you're going to just have to adjust it, you know, so that it gets to the length. If it's a really short hem, then you don't have to pull that long. Once I do that, then this tail, I'm going to tie it up here, and then I'm going to try to hide that tail when I do my second row, okay? So I'm not going to I'm not trying to hide it now, because that's not going to work. So once I go here, I'm going to do chain 3 chains, 1, 2, and 3, and then I'm going to count my little ridges here, 1, 2, 3, and I'm just making my spaces. If you don't have little ridges, here's 1, 2, 3. It's about maybe 3/4 of an inch apart. You can put them closer if you want. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to go into the fabric as close to the hem as I can. Punch through. I'm going to pull out my yarn. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to do a single crochet, just like that. Okay, now I'm going to repeat the same thing. 1, 2, 3. Skip my 3 little rows here. 1, 2, 3. Go in here. Punch my hook through there. Pull out my yarn and make sure I pull it up to go to the edge here of my towel. And then I do my chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3. You're going to do that all the way across. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go in here. See, if I just try to make my single crochet there, see, it's going to be all crooked. So before I do that, once I pull out my yarn, let me grab here, I'm going to pull out, kind of pull up my stitch to go up to the edge of the towel right there. And then I do my single crochet so that this towel is not crimped up or crooked, okay? So I want you to repeat that. 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to change 1, 2, 3 all the way across. When we come back, when I pull up your yarn here, so you are making your towel nice and flat, and continue all the way across. When we finish here, I'm going to come back and we will start working on the flower portion. Okay, I've come to the end. See, they're pretty close. Sometimes they're not like that even, but here's the last of my 3 chains, and then I grab my yarn. So here I'm just going to cut this off and I'm going to fasten it through. Okay, and you can use whatever color you want, or even variate it. I'm trying to make this look kind of like the bottom, kind of like more the leaf color, and you'll see what I'm saying right now. If you want, you could just leave it just plain like this, but even that, if you look at your towel, even that already makes your towel look cuter. See, so this is a nice way to do it. So now that I finished, I'm going to come back here, and now I can use a bigger hook. I don't have to use this tiny hook. I'm going to change to a size G hook. You can use whatever size you want. And I'm just going to get my little variated yarn here. And it starts kind of, I don't know if I like that. I might like it all more pink. I do have a pink one, so I'm just going to go here, grab my yarn. It's not there, sorry guys. Into the stitch where my where I had joined here. So I'm just going to pull out my yarn, and then I can tie my tails. The tail I started with here, and the new yarn. If I'm having trouble grabbing, I'm trying to film with the camera between, I'm like basically like straddling it, so it makes it harder to grab everything and keep the camera from moving. So here I'm going to tie my end to the green and the white that where I added it. Okay, and then this I will try to hide my tails a little bit in there. It's not going to be perfect, but somewhat. So now here, once I get here, I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And remember, this is my new variated color. I'm going to be working my stitches into my chain 3 space. I'm going to double crochet, go into that space where the chain 3 loop is, and I'm going to make, let me see, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 double crochets. My chain 3 counts as 1, so I'm going to do 7 more. So there's 1, 2, 3, I'm starting to get the color there, 4, let me see, grab this tail there, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 more, 7, and 8. Okay, So now once I do that, into my next single crochet where I have pulled out my yarn, I'm going to go in here and do a single crochet on top of there. So I'm pulling out my yarn through that same stitch there. It's kind of hard to see, I know, because the lighting's not really good. Hopefully right now when we get to the darker colors, let me see if I can move the light around a little bit here to see if we could give you a better color. So here I attached into my single crochet, where I had attached to the yarn, I chained 3, and then I made, this counts as 1, and then I made 7 more double crochets. Now in my next stitch marker here, on my next single crochet, I do a single crochet. Now here once again I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. If you prefer, you could also do a slip stitch, totally up to you. We're going to repeat what I did here all the way across. So now here is my next space here. I'm still have those tails that I have to bury, so I'm going to double crochet, yarn over, go in there and do 7 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it would probably look better in a solid color. I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 more. 7 and 8. Now in the next single crochet there, I'm going to go in there to the bottom, pull out my yarn and do a single crochet. And like I said, if you prefer, you could do a slip stitch. So I think it was probably going to look better with a solid color, I'm thinking. Maybe not. But anyway, it's going to just wrap up like this. Chain 3, 1, just repeat it, 1, 2, 3, and then do your 7 double crochets. If you think it's too crowded, you could also do 6 double crochet. I like it to be kind of fluffy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and my last one is 8. Okay. So now you could kind of see it better when it's all the solid color. Okay everyone, like you can see, this is the hem back here, so you want to make sure you're going to be working on the side where the right side, not on the side with the hem. I changed my mind. I'm going to go ahead and use a solid color instead of the variated. I didn't like the way it was looking. So what you're going to do here on the same stitch here that I started, I'm just going to put my hook in there. I'm moving up to a bigger hook, which is a size G, the number 6, and it's 4.25. If you want to stay working with the smaller hook, you can. That's up to you. And because of that, I'm actually going to be going into the bottom space, not into the actual single crochet, because that would be kind of harder to get my hook in. If you don't have a problem doing it that way, that's up to you. So you don't have to write me and tell me, hey, you're in the wrong place. So I'm going to be going here and I'm going to tie my pink and green. Sorry, the camera's moving, guys. I'm trying to hug it as I work here. I'm going to try to hide these tails. Let me twist it here as I go along. I'm going to put it here to the front to get them out of the way. So once I add my yarn here, I'm going to chain 3. You're going to do 3. 1, 2, 3. And now here into the chain 3 space, I'm going to work 5 more double crochets. So it could be, you have to be careful because see how this stitch moves? It's easy to, when you're doing your double crochets, to stop working in the space here and catch that yarn right there. So you want to make sure that you don't go in that space. So I'm going to yarn over, make sure that space is moved over. I'm going to go in here as I move. There'll be 3 there, going through the first 2, then the second 2. So that's my second double crochet. This counts as 1, so that's 1, 2. And see, here's that stitch where it's easy to go in there. So make sure you're working to the left of that, to the right of that, excuse me. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, and one more, 6. Okay, look at that. So now here, once again, like I said, if it's easy for you to go to that single crochet chain, you can. I'm going to go in that single crochet and do a single crochet on top of there. Now I'm going to just trim away these tails that I buried in there. Okay, where's my scissors? Oh, here they are. So just to kind of get them out of the way, make sure you don't cut your other, your main yarn. Okay, so once you do that, what I want you to do is the next chain 3 space here, we're going to skip that space and we're going to work 6 double crochets in every other space. So we're going to work here 6 double crochets with a single crochet closing, and then you skip the next one, then go into the next one. So let me show you what I mean. So here I've done my first one. Now I'm skipping the next space. In this next 3 chain space, I'm going to work my next 6 double crochets. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, that's my 6. Now in my next, oops, okay, I grab a, didn't come in right. Let me get that better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looked like it was frayed. 6. So then on my next space here, if you can go into that chain 1 space, I'm going to go a little bit below there. So I'm going to do a single crochet there. Okay. So my second one, I skip this next space and I'm going to work in here. So after you do your cluster, you're going to do a single crochet, you're going to skip the next space, chain 3 space, and go into your next chain 3. And that's how I'm going to work all the way across, doing my 6 double crochet clusters. 3, 4, 5, and 6. And this little edging you can add to tablecloths, to whatever thing you're using. This is going to be for a little kitchen towel. If you have those big towels, see, and that's going to create, they look like little flowers. So that's why I use the green, kind of to make it look like the color of a stem. And then the pink, remember you could use whatever color you want. I've also done these with yellow and it looks really pretty. So I'm going to go all the way across. Here that I've already done my single crochet, I'm going to skip my next space, go into the next one, then single crochet, skip the next 3 chain space, and go up to the next one. So you're skipping one chain 3 space is left on work in between your clusters. So go ahead and repeat that all the way across. I'm going to be repeating that here, leaving this one on work. I'm going to my next one and doing my 6 clusters there. And I'm going to work that all the way across. If you run out, like you're not, like maybe in an odd place here, you can try to work. It's just trying to get the little, just trying to work a little cluster in there. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just for a little trim to dress up your kitchen towels or your placemats or tablecloths, whatever you're doing. One more. So here's my 6th one. Remember, after you do the 6th one, then you're going to go in your next space and do your single crochet. Once I've done that, skip that space and work in the next one. And that repeats all the way across. Okay, so I'm going to be doing my last double crochet here. Then I'm going to go into my space, like my last space there, do my single crochet, and now I'm going to leave a tail so that it's easier for me to sew it in. If you cut your tails really short, too short, it's really hard to sew them in. At least for me, it seems like it's harder. And so here, I'm just going to go ahead and fasten off. I'm going to sew in my tail, guys. Sorry about that. I thought it was easier to see. This other tail that was here, I kind of worked it in. So now I can cut that off. And this is how your towel will look. I think it looks a lot better than just a plain towel. It's a quick, fun little project. So you could do both ends if you want. And then when you fold it over, it just looks really cute like that. And let me see if I could get my tail there. So I'm going to sew in my tail. And now you're all done. I just like this little trim. It's just a quick, easy, fast way to kind of dress up a little towel. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please be sure to subscribe, hit the like button. Thank you for watching, and remember, God loves you.